Turreting in PNW is when you declare a war against a person with the sole purpose of launching missiles and launching nukes at their cities to do infrastructure damage. The idea behind it is that you'll often lose wars like these because nukes and missiles do not do a lot of resistance damage and you will lose a race against a fully militarized target. But the idea is that the damage done against the infrastructure is worth more than the damage you take from losing the war. The only time you should really be turreting is when your alliance has lost a war and you're all zeroed and there's no other way of fighting back besides doing this. A lot of solidified alliances will have tools to easily find targets, whether that be bots, whether it be a target sheet. It'll often be explained to you how to use those, though I understand that a lot of alliances also don't have these, so if your alliance doesn't, you can always just use the old-fashioned way of looking for targets manually, but this is a lot less efficient and effective than using sheets. Now just make sure you declare an attrition war though, as it actually affects the amount of infrastructure damage that a missile and a nuke will do. Speaking of war types, there will be people declaring raid wars against you while you're turreting, and I've seen so many people use missiles and even nukes against these, but it's actually terrible and please don't do that. Missiles and nukes are limited and they should be used against targets where they do the most damage. They should not be used against the defensive wars 99% of the time. Instead, just fortify those wars, and if you get mech soldiers, maybe suicide your soldiers into them. That's about it. Just wait for those wars to finish by themselves. You don't have to attack them. Now, resource management is very important while turreting and people overlook it way too much. Now, one thing you should know is that you're going to lose a lot of money if people ground battle you. However, there's 50,000 cash per city that you have that's not lootable from ground battles. So if you have 20 cities, you have 1 million cash that you can have on your nation without it getting looted. What this means is that realistically, all you need on your nation is resources to buy missiles and nukes every day for a round of turreting. There's a daily login bonus that's actually quite substantial that gives you a lot of money, meaning that the best way of going about resource management is to just have the resources required to buy missiles and nukes for a while, but not too many because you're going to lose those resources when you lose your wars. But you really don't need to keep cash on your nation because the amount of cash that you need to buy nukes, missiles, soldiers and spies can actually for most people be afforded with the daily login bonus that they have. Now it's also time to talk about war taxes, because different alliances use different methods, but the best methods and the best fighting alliances use very high war taxes, which means that if you're on the right color block, you'll get taxed almost all of your resources that you're making, which means the enemy can't loot them. Alternatively, if your alliance does not put you on high taxes, as they probably should, due to a culture thing or something, you can spend the money that you're making while turreting on buying land in your city so that at least the enemy doesn't loot it. And the last thing I'll say is that if you're on badge, you can't be taxed. So what that means is that when you leave badge to start turreting, please first deposit your excess resources that you do not need in the alliance bank. Thanks. Oh yeah, and swap your color bonus after you've declared your wars.